What's up, everybody? Welcome to Westerbros podcast. Today we're doing Star Wars. I'm Andrew Schulz. I'm here with my man Jack, my man Marco, and my man Haney. And the three of us just went to the iPick Theater off of Marco's suggestion. Marco, you want to break down what iPick is?
So iPick is a reservation theater. You book your tickets in advance. You have an assigned seat. And the way the seating structure is they have regular seats in front, which are kind of like your more traditional movie seats, but they also have people that will serve you. And in the back, they have the premium seats, which is obviously what Westerbros went for here.
Economy and first class.
Basically, these two-person pods, as I like to call them, with a nice little table in the middle, a call button on that table for any service that you might need, and two reclining chairs that fully extend back. With a nice, thick but not too thick fleece blanket and a pillow. That at maximum leverage going backwards, if you prop it up behind your head, you get just the right head tilt to the screen.
Which is huge. You would imagine if you lean all the way back,
your head would come up a little.
Or it wouldn't. So now you get the pillow, pushes your head up,
support.
and you can watch the movie screen perfectly.
They thought of everything.
How much?
And they have a full menu.
Oh, full menu.
Menu.
Let me just say, what time did we go see the movie today?
11:30.
11:30. Now, one would think maybe there's just one menu for the whole day. Au contraire.
There's a breakfast menu.
There's a breakfast menu. I had a beautiful breakfast quesadilla, scrambled eggs,
Breakfast
guacamole.
ended at 11:30, but they let you pre-order.
Why did they do that? Because we had the Supreme ticket.
We did have the premium tickets.
The premium.
We had
They
the premium
asked me.
tickets.
The guy asked me. He goes,
what seats are you in?
He goes, it's Mexican. He goes, what kind of ticket do you have? I go, what do you mean? It depending what kind of ticket you have, if you can get the breakfast. And then I go, and then I text you. I go, what do you have? I go, do we have the premium? And then Marco just goes, duh.
Yeah. DUH, man. Come on.
So we hit up that breakfast, coffee, all that shit.
$29 a ticket. Worth it, in my opinion.
Premium, first class, $29.
First class, $29. We don't even know what economy is. Ugh.
So, all right.
I thought it was like 60 a head.
Wait.
No.
it's 29
It's 29 ticket, but then you
That's
order some
great.
food,
Food.
full
Sure,
bar.
sure.
Free
Listen.
popcorn.
Full bar. They
For-
did have
oh, that's
full
right,
bar.
free
I
popcorn.
did see that drink menu looked extensive.
Oh, there's a
They had
full
like an
bar.
ex-
They have
a whole page of
delicious
wine
tequilas
lists.
Okay.
at
They
the
had a whole
iPicks.
cot.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, this really is no joke.
Great margaritas.
I'm
Where-
wondering if any of you guys were going to order it.
It was a little
premium
early to order
cocktail.
a premium cocktail. I was
Yeah.
thinking of getting something in the coffee, but I want to be focused for what we were talking about today. I should point out, we went, Alex, it was Alex who does our audio visual, Alex Media on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you check him. It was Marco and Haney and myself went. Jack did not go for multiple
Jack woke
reasons.
up
Jack
5
wasn't
minutes
even
ago.
actually invited.
Yeah.
But he also wasn't awake.
But he didn't want to go. Jack said it's hard to watch himself in the movie. Obviously, if you guys have seen Star Wars, know that Jack is like the second in command bad guy for the for the Empire.
Hux.
General Hux?
Yeah. There could not be a more stark resemblance between two fucking people, dude.
Tom
It's
Gleason?
yeah, I almost feel like you dye your hair a little bit more brown so that you don't look so much like this guy.
This
It's
is-
shocking.
No, it's the Incognito.
This
Yo.
is rather ironic because when General Hux hit the screen, Alex goes to me, man, he looks like Andrew.
There's no.
Oh, shit.
Son, he texted me. But
Uh-oh.
you think it looks
Alex
more.
at
Fam,
TV.
get Hux up on the
the two-
screen.
son,
We're going to put our
son.
faces next to the TV, and we got to decide
I
who
think
it
Alex.
is.
I think Alex had an all white guys look alike moment.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Son, you got to get.
Son,
Dude,
it's not
it's
even
Jack, son. My man looks just like Jack. They got the same hairstyle, everything. Hold on.
Nose.
Look at that. That's a
Dude.
great one. We could
Hang on,
we
we
could
need-
zoom that up. And you, Jack, you got to do the image. And if you guys want to
Oh
watch
my
this,
god.
fam, hold on.
Yo, that hat is serious.
Who?
It's not even close.
It's not even close. It
It's
looks
not
like
even
Jack.
close. It kind of.
Yo, you're blind, B. I'm starting to think you're blind. How does that look like me?
I gotta get the sideburns going. The sideburn game is
There's
shot.
better picks.
You first of all, Jack is more ginge than I am. I'm no ginge.
I got a hint of
He's
James.
got blue eyes. Jack has blue eyes.
He's so mad because he's so anti-ginge.
I'm a little anti-ginge. I'm sorry.
Would you
mean,
classify me as Ginge?
No,
I,
definitely
listen,
not.
I do my best to
I'm
avoid
fringe
it.
Ginge?
I
Yo, he's
ignore
not
it.
ginge.
You're
He's
fringe
not
shit.
ginge.
I'm a fringer.
Fringe
I'm a
Jack in the motherfucking building.
Listen, depending on how the sun hits you, it can go either way.
Okay, fair enough, fair
I don't
enough.
see
I'll
that
take
at
it.
all.
All we're
Your
saying
face
is keep
red,
shaving
I'll
your
say
beard.
that.
Don't let it grow out too much. Right? You can see the ginge coming through. Anyway, so we go to this eye pick. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yo,
where is the
real
iPad?
quick? So
Yeah.
Fulton Street.
down by South Street Seaport.
Beautiful down there.
Nice.
Not this time of year, but beautiful.
Even this time of year.
Did you talk about how the pods are set up?
Yeah.
So it's two.
Recliners and a table in the middle with the call button.
But
literally-
two
and like
apiece.
and like a
Two
wall,
po-
so
two
like
people
you
apiece.
can't see the person.
You can't
next
see
to
the
you.
people next to you. No, you're enclosed in this, so it feels like a personal movie experience with an excellently placed cup holder in the wall that drops down. Did you catch that?
No, hold on.
Yeah,
I
you
hold
did
on,
that.
because I think me and Alex fucked this all up, right?
Because I showed
Hold
Schultz.
on,
I was like, yo, press the wall, press the wall.
Yeah,
press the
it was
wall.
great.
He presses the
Oh,
wall, and
so
the thing
great.
drops down, and he's like, oh, shit.
Because I had my cup on the table, and I'm like, you know what's wrong with this is I got to reach too far for the table, and all of a sudden Mark will just go, hey, watch this. Immediately, it just goes cup holder.
Yo,
It's like he sensed what was bothering me. We had everything. First of all, when you don't pay for popcorn, you disrespect it.
you
The
get a
popcorn was on the table.
you get a free bag everywhere.
Marco flicked it out of the way. He fucking smacked it. He turned out like a Ric Flair moment. He just goes, whoa!
we were trying to turn the table, the menu was away, and I just like hit the
Get the
popcorn.
fuck out of here, free popcorn.
It knocked over.
So, I have a question for you. This may sound dumb, and I'm really gonna regret this answer that we have to give you.
Oh boy, here we go.
Did the back of your chair? Does that go back? Do you go back?
Son, did you not go back on the
Did you not
front?
hit the button on the wall?
Son,
Were you
I
in
hit
economy?
the fucking button on the wall, and the legs came up.
Yeah.
and then the back.
And
then
then the
that's
back
it.
comes back. And then you put the
Yo, you were in
pillow
coach.
Yo, this much.
You don't get fully, how are you going to get fully back and watch a movie? I don't understand.
Not like fully back, but it was just like it was almost just.
You
like
go
this.
Hannibal Lecter.
You go 45 degrees, bro.
It was.
Remember-
it was like
remember-
it was not even the amount that a plane chair goes back.
That's factually incorrect.
No. You're acting
That's
crazy. You're
ridiculous.
acting crazy right now.
That's ridiculous.
You're acting. That's a wild
that's-
statement.
no.
That's a wild
You
You
statement.
hit the same button did both the legs and the back.
No. Yeah, you press the button, it just keeps on going.
just
You got to
going.
hold it there
You
for a
gotta hold
while.
it. Yeah,
I can't
And it
hold
keeps.
it.
I have a feeling you only got $20 worth of your ticket.
Seriously.
I have a
Yeah, you got
feeling.
coach.
I have a feeling you pressed the
You got
wrong
down
button.
there.
He
and that's
wasn't
it.
sure he could eat the free popcorn. He left it on the table.
Yo, I bodied the free popcorn. I saw Alex didn't eat his. I almost bodied his.
Oh, I knocked over my free popcorn and went right to Schultz's and just grabbed it.
I will say, I didn't care because I had a fruit plate. I had a beautiful little fruit cup. I had my
which was
quesadilla.
perfect.
It was a great food.
was lovely.
And listen, I'm one of these guys. I don't like eating in the dark.
Yeah.
You know that stupid
like
restaurant
seeing
where they make you eat in the dark? I like seeing my food. I want to know if it's going to drip on me. Like there's
Yeah.
a whole lot of things that are going on. I didn't mind it.
No.
I did not mind it. I felt completely comfortable consuming food in
Because
this
it's also
environment.
not your shit. Right? It's not your blanket. If I drop fucking salsa all over me, not my blanket, I'm tossing it to the side of the next guy.
I fucked up and didn't realize the blanket is also a bib.
Oh, it's a bit.
What?
I put the blanket right here. I didn't realize you use the blanket
Yeah.
to stop, and you just wipe your fingers
I was
on it.
blowing my nose in that thing.
Were you in full recline mode eating?
I did it. I left it right here. I was in full recline mode, and I left it to the fucking side of me, and I was worried I was going to get a little orange on it or a little raspberry.
I hate those popcorn
That thing's
fingers.
brown for a reason, bro.
Dude,
Like-
exactly. Oh, God. It was a great experience.
So I pick
I
positive.
pick.
best. It's the
There's
best.
no other way to go. And also, we were
I will
saying
say
this-
that the other
Yeah.
theaters where the seats recline, like the one we saw,
Yeah.
I thought those chairs were
Better?
comparable, if not better.
They were
The
not.
chairs, but now the pod wall thing is interesting, right? So you feel like you're kind of
yourself.
secluded off, right?
It's like the
You feel-
Emirates first
you
class.
Feel like you
when
have
they're
some
like-
Exactly
privacy.
that. Yeah.
You feel like you have some privacy. So if you're there with one other person, that was actually really cool, right?
Say it, Mark.
But
Can you talk to your boy? Like if you're sitting next to someone?
yeah,
your
so,
friend?
so the pod setup was Marco and Andrew in one pod, Alex and I in another pod. Right?
Okay.
So I could talk to Alex pretty easily, and you'd feel like you were kind of like had privacy, right?
Uh-huh.
But
What'd you guys
every
talk
now
about?
and then,
you guys talk about some good stuff? Oh, no. Every once in a while, I pulled a Wilson from Home Improvement. I just pop my head over the thing.
every now and then, so like all of us had seen the movie before except Andrew.
Yo, I was
so we
hyped.
knew
I
some
was
parts
hyped.
that kind of like
Yeah.
inside a reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kylo Ren's pecs.
Yeah,
Holy
right.
shit.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
I had my
Sometimes-
Jason Momoa moment with him. Dude,
I just hear Andrew
which
over
team
the
am
wall.
I on?
I just hear Andrew over the wall make a reaction, and then when you kind of want to go look at your friend's face.
Yeah.
I just look at a wall, right?
That is
And
an
then-
issue.
But one time Andrew popped up and just goes, hot. You see his face?
No, I didn't say hot. I popped up. I go body.
Yeah.
Yo, how many pods per theater? How big is the theater?
I was trying to do the math. I imagine the ticket is twice as expensive, so they do half the amount of seats.
Probably.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Big theater. I thought it was going to be small, intimate. Same size if you go to like the one on Union Square, like the
Really?
Yeah, big. Almost, I wouldn't say IMAX size, but big, like
Good
a
sound,
Times Square.
good quality, everything.
Sound was
Sound was great.
everything. They just limit the amount of seats. I will agree with you if you want like a collaborative movie
If you're
experience
going with
where you
a
want to bust
large group,
balls, you know.
Not
like,
the move.
Like
But if
we
you're
wouldn't have
going
been able to see
one-on-one-
it at this theater because we wouldn't have been making all the
See,
jokes.
I like it's like you're playing 2-on-2 basketball, right? Like you picked a team, and now you're in that pod with that guy in your foxhole, and now you're going to the foxhole. That's what I'm saying.
So here's the rough thing: if you buy one ticket, can you get potted with a stranger?
Probably.
I'm not doing that.
Is there a dating opportunity?
Yeah, you got to
here?
watch
Like,
out for that.
Oh, and online, like just meet
podding?
somebody.
You meet someone at the pod?
I pick.
That's one of your hobbies. I like movies. So that's the thing. You get set up blind date. You don't know who it is. They match you up in a pod.
That's our second dating app. We have a breakup app.
We have Ditch.
We have Ditch, and then we have.
Which
Yeah,
Alex
yeah.
is going to blurt out on the podcast when he says it.
no. We got to let the people
Until we
know.
license it.
Okay, this is an interesting idea. Now, if we already have a girl, I
Great
think
spot.
it's a great
Great,
spot.
great,
And
yeah.
Marco and I were talking about this. Marco, say what you were saying.
Because when you go, you're going to a movie, right? Which you
Yep.
both want to see. Hopefully, and you get to see the movie. But
Yep.
you're also making her feel special.
It's
and,
an experience.
And you're getting
It's an
dinner.
experience.
You're
Yeah.
getting drinks. You're getting
Yeah.
everything in one.
and
Yep.
she feels like she's getting the full package.
Yep.
And you're seeing the movie, and you don't have to talk to her.
And I
And
promise
for
you,
less than everything would be normal.
Best date
Yeah.
ever.
And no, Jack has a good point. Less than everything would
Less
be
than
normal.
dinner, like a normal
Well,
dinner would be.
yeah,
Do you know how
Right.
much my eggs and all that things are? I got a bunch of things.
Was it
Yeah.
good?
$22.
Yeah.
Good?
Excellent. But here's the thing, it's just a fucking movie date, but it's not because this is the only place that they'll do it, and a lot of girls probably haven't even been to this iPic.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's more kind of like movie buffs that are going to this,
I'd imagine so too.
Right?
Because you can actually sign up for like year-long plans, like to be like a gold member. It's like $30 a year, and you get like special
Breakfast
access
all
to-
day.
Yeah, breakfast all day.
That'd be
maybe.
hot.
Right?
Are you a gold member?
Yo, who was the player on the Sixers that was injured for most of the time and then he just got traded?
Joel
Okafor, yeah, I saw him last night.
Okafor.
Yeah.
You know, Okafor used to come from Philly to this iPick
No.
just because he wasn't doing anything. He was injured. He wasn't
Yeah.
traveling with the team.
I mean, he wasn't
To
hurt.
this one on Fulton Street?
Yeah, Okafor
He just wasn't
loved.
playing.
He was DNP coach's decision.
Yeah.
No, but Okafor wasn't he hurt for a while?
Nah, he was just getting DUIs.
Or maybe, but I remember reading an article where
All right, whatever.
On the way to
Okafor
the-
was
on the way
coming-
back from the
Dude,
iPic.
that's why he was getting the DUIs. He was driving like a $150 on
Yeah,
the highway
just to get back to
just
the
to see
iPick.
iPick. Yeah, that's how good iPick is. You throw away your NBA career for this shit.
Philadelphia doesn't have an iPick?
I guess not, because Okafor was coming
Goddamn.
up to New York, or maybe he was training. I don't know, but Okafor was in the Fulton Street iPick a lot.
I respect it.
Wow.
I remember reading this article a while ago.
You saw him last night
Yeah.
on the Nets,
play?
right?
Nosebleeds.
He's
Yeah.
not playing, is he?
Yeah, he played a little bit.
No,
He
they're
had
giving him.
he
They're
had
giving him minutes.
He
I
had like
thought.
13 points,
Not
12
at
minutes.
first. He was
Yeah.
out of shape.
Okay, so let's start talking about fucking Star Wars. I mean, and first of all, I just want to point out, iPick is not sponsored this podcast
But they should.
yet.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see.
We got some cool ideas. I always like speaking our ideas on, that we talk about behind the scenes on a podcast because I think it holds us accountable. It's like, let's make it happen. But I was talking to the guys about this yesterday, and I think it'd be so cool if we host a premiere. We could do it for a TV show, we could do it for a film, but we basically rent out a theater, have you guys that listen to podcasts come watch the movie with us, and then we do a live podcast right afterwards.
Yeah.
I love the idea of doing like a special iPick screening of something like that. Maybe we could get them involved and then get you all who listen free tickets to come see an iPick screening with us.
Yes.
Maybe we could do the pod after. But I think there's some cool collaborative things that we could do, especially with shows that everybody's really into. And I think Marco Haney said, or maybe it was Alex said something about maybe just even watching it at a bar.
Yeah.
But a bar of our choice, or maybe it was you who said it, but like a bar of our choice, we have a nice big screen, and then we just get this. It's got to be the right show. It's got to be a Game of Thrones or like a weekly, etc. But
I said it. I'll take the credit.
okay, Marco, you
Or
said
like a
it.
finale. Like if we're doing like Westworld, the finale of Westworld, we host at a thing and do it with the.
What I'd love is to do like the weekly at just a regular bar, and then finale do a theater. Like blow out the thing. But that's
Great
what we
idea.
want to do with you guys who listen. So.
Logistically, we have no idea how to make that happen right now.
So
Let's put
if
that
you're
on the
listening
table.
and you got hookups at a bar, you got hookups at a movie theater company, you got hookups at any of these different types of things, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm not on Twitter. I am on Instagram. Slide in the DMs. And then let's talk business and make this shit happen. Everybody needs help to make their dreams come true. So help ours come true. All right, let's start this shit.
So
We
first
should've-
impression, this is the first time you saw it
Exactly,
right now,
yeah.
so I want to get that.
I'm
fresh.
also the least Star Wars fan of
Okay,
all of us.
fair.
Not that I don't like it. I don't. I had to ask
But you've
you
seen all of them.
certain
Yes.
things. I've seen everything.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I was hyped. I had multiple audible reactions.
Yes.
Like there was multiple. Yo, what?
Visually amazing.
Incredible.
Yo, shout out to Ryan Johnson. Killed it. as
He's
a
the director. So there's one scene in it for everybody who watched, and I leaned over to talk to Marco about it because I just need to express this. When they're in the casino, and I'm sure you probably picked up on this, Jack. There's one shot,
The opening
shot of the casino, and what it is a camera going through the casino. And what's very important to note, there are tables that they're playing games on, and it's going through the table, it's going over the tables. So the logistics of that shot are tricky because you can't put it on a track on the ground.
Right.
It's either a drone shot, which I doubt you're going to fly that stable, or they track the fucking ceiling.
with the camera.
Is that what they do for a shot like that?
Probably. I'd have to look at the shot again, but
It's
So
like the
it go-
NFL with the cameras on the lines.
Yeah, the cord. So you're getting an above shot going right through the casino. It was just so cool. I mean, besides all the special effects and all that kind of stuff, I fucking loved it. I thought that they gave us, I would argue, even too much. I thought you could cut down the last battle scene between Luke and Kylo.
just take out the casino. I hated the casino thing.
What, you hated it?
Yeah, I hated the casino part because it's like the whole. First of all, the timeline.
I'm just talking about visually how
Visually,
the
it was
shot
cool.
went.
Sure.
But all I'm saying is, I feel like the movie gave us so much. If they cut it right before Kylo and Luke fought, if that was like the to be continued,
I was hoping that. Yeah.
I would still have been like, "Whoa, that was a hell of a movie."
There's a reason they didn't do that, but I
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, so that is my take from it. Now I have like little more nuanced takes that we could get into now if you want. Or
Did
maybe
you
we
like it
just,
better than the last one, The Force Awakens?
honestly, elicits similar emotions. Like
Okay.
what I would say about both of these movies is you don't need to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it.
Right.
Like this is, and I felt the same way about those Star Trek movies that came out recently. Like you could know nothing about the history of Star Trek, walk and watch this movie, and be like, "This is fucking."
Well, that's J.J.
fun.
Abrams too, isn't
That.
it?
Yeah. And that's kind of the genius of what J.J. Abrams. That's what he brings to the table is that he can make it
Digestible for everyone.
digestible for a new generation. So like, there's like the young kids that probably like Kylo Ren more than Darth Vader,
Right.
Because they're watching these movies more than.
Yeah, they don't even know
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
So
Yeah.
there's an impossible task with this, and I think Ryan Johnson, this is what he did the excellent job of, is that this is a type of movie where you have to make it for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? You have to make it for Star Wars fans. You have to make it for young kids.
Impossible
You have
task.
to make it for. And normally when they say if you try to please everyone, you end up
please
pleasing
no
no
one,
one,
yeah.
right? Impossible task. I think the genius of this movie
So he did it.
is that he was able to do it.
Yep.
And from my perspective, and like
Yeah.
the Star Wars fans we'll talk about this later who like didn't like it, are incorrect. And there's a right side.
What
of
is
history.
their argument for not? Or maybe you are
We'll
you
go,
one
we'll
of?
go, you want to go into that later? Or?
All right, we'll get into it later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
again. So
Yeah, Jack, you like it?
I liked it a lot, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about Star Wars. Everybody has a different relationship with Star Wars. They have their own version of what they
Yes.
think it should be. So not everyone's going to be happy with it.
Right.
I don't have that personal thing where it's like my Star Wars is this. It's like
Yeah.
I just enjoyed it. I had a great
Because
time.
it's not ours.
right. It's not
That's
ours.
the
yeah.
thing. It's not ours. It's art. And it's
But you have to
someone
understand
else's.
it's so precious to so many people
know
that
what I'm saying?
it's like life or death. Like every little nuanced thing. Is
can you
like-
guys explain to me what the haters didn't like about it?
So
What's the
this is-
backlash?
So
Yeah.
here it is, right? You have,
And make
you have
sure
to-
the microphone isn't too far.
you have to look at this. Star Wars is like the Star Wars canon. It's called.
It's
right?
all about the canon. Yeah.
So it's all about the canon. So that is like what is gospel, the official Star Wars storyline. Because
Yeah.
at some point after the first few movies came out, all these books came out of all these from different authors, right?
About the world.
About the Star Wars world, right?
Okay.
And there's so much literature on it. It's like 50, 60 books now. And it's all different pieces of it, before, after, between, all that stuff, right?
Okay.
So that's the Star Wars extended universe. From that, they will sometimes pull certain concepts or borrow some things and create what is the Lucasfilm actually 9 chapters now book, which is the canon.
So
Right.
the canon are the original 9. Is that correct?
Not the original 9, because they're still these
But
are
they haven't
newly
gotten
written.
to 9. They're on
Oh,
8
these
right now.
aren't.
Yeah, these aren't like when episode 4 came out.
Yeah.
Episode 1 wasn't really written.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, yeah. Okay.
But the important thing is that when Lucasfilm was acquired by Disney,
Yes.
they made a strict decision to say the canon books and all of the comic books and video games and all that stuff, that's not canon. We're deciding what's
Yes.
canon. So basically just the movies and Attack of the Clones
They have
animated show
they-
are canon.
They have a 12-man team called Lucasfilm Story Group that
Yes.
actually is the one who guides Like they'll guide Ryan Johnson into the script because like it takes what tells you what's going to be canon for this, what's acceptable.
Which is also what they do for Marvel, which is owned by Disney. So
Right.
Disney
Given
just
how
like
much money this makes, those 12 men are like some of the most powerful.
I think
people.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
How many
Yeah.
disciples
Insane.
were there?
12, yeah.
So there's a reason it's a canon.
It's
and
like the
there's
Jedi
12
Council.
disciples.
That's
and
wild.
This is the Jesus story.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not stupid when they're. This is how. What
So
if,
that's part of the criticism.
What if
right?
5,000 years from now or 2,000 years from now, this is
The religion?
Yeah.
It's
But-
set up the exact same way.
That's the criticism, right?
well,
the
it's-
criticism
Is
I
people
felt,
who weren't the original writers are deciding what the world is?
No, not that. Specifically to the movies, it's that Luke is the savior character, and he's supposed to be like the perfect hero. And these people have a special, who are big Star Wars fans, have a special relationship with Luke, and they think that the way he was portrayed in this movie is not possible. Right?
Because Luke wouldn't be a bad guy.
He wouldn't quit. He wouldn't
yeah.
quit. He wouldn't have had that moment of weakness with Kylo, and he wouldn't have. He's not someone who would need of coaxing to come back to help the rebellion. Like that's not who at the core of Luke Skywalker is. Because this was a man who was so idealistic that he actually threw down his lightsaber because he knew that he was not going to kill his own father to prove a point. Right? He's the ultimate idealist, and then he bet on basically his father turning and saving him in that moment.
And so I understand why they're upset. This
But
is
I-
a huge character change.
Yeah. But that's why I love it, because he went that way. He took that decision and went that
So-
way with Luke. Like,
Yo,
Yeah,
that shit's real, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
But,
like
but,
it.
but life is too real for these kids, and that's why they love Luke.
Right. But it's funny, man, because
And
it's
that-
like as
that's why they love
secular
the
as our
character.
country is coming and going away from religion,
Yeah.
everyone's still looking for fucking Jesus. And Luke Skywalker is
Is
their
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Of
You know what I
course,
mean?
that's all we do. Yeah.
But
This is baffling to me.
Yo,
This is
but-
crazy.
Yo, come on,
the thing
bro.
is why I
Mind-blowing.
like it.
What?
The thing is why I like
Sorry,
it is it's
can we
realis-
just real quick? Can we acknowledge that point right there?
Yeah.
The people who have the greatest success with movie franchises take biblical elements and
Always.
turn them into stories. Star Wars,
Yeah.
Jesus story. Harry Potter is no different. Orphan kid
Yep.
has magical powers. You know what I mean? Like finds the. It's the same exact story
Same
over. And if you can tell the story right.
Right.
I mean, look at fucking Spider-Man in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. If
Yeah.
you can tell these stories right,
Right.
we'll attach it. And I think it speaks more not to the idea that like Jesus is real or this God is real or that God is real. It's that the Jesus story and the stories that surround it are the greatest stories ever told.
Right.
They're from thousands of years of storytelling.
Yeah.
These were the greatest ones that fucking existed because there's no printing press.
Right.
What do we keep telling?
Right.
These same 20, 30, 40 stories. And they have this hero quality in them, and it
Yeah.
organically existed. So if you can tap into that, you can be richer than the queen.
Right.
So it's like New Testament versus Old Testament.
Right. And the reason I liked it is because not just that they made the change, but they made it more realistic, right? None of our heroes, especially today,
Yeah.
are perfect.
Yeah.
And sometimes the things that make them great are their imperfections. Like you think of like when you were growing up, like Michael Jordan was like God.
Yeah.
To certainly our generation, right? And especially me, I was like a huge Jordan guy who's like so perfect, nothing he could do was wrong. And in that era, like his image was very well protected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you find out, he cheats on his wife, he gambles, he does all these things. Like he's still not a perfect person.
Right.
And you realize how sometimes his competitive, the way he was a negative in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
But he's so deified
Yeah.
that you're afraid as a fan of his to be critical, like you want to protect him because that's your hero. But
Yeah.
it's not realistic. All of our heroes, all the guys throughout history that were great presidents or whatever, like turned out to be like drunks and womanizers.
Sure.
Everyone has their flaws.
Greatness has a cost.
So I don't
Yeah.
think that having your hero have a flaw or a moment of weakness is a bad thing I think it's very realistic. It's a
Yeah.
realistic depiction of what could happen. And think about if you're Luke Skywalker, like you just put down the Empire, you just did this. You don't want to go through this again. Like, what is it? If you're that guy, you're Luke Skywalker, and it's 20 years later, it's like, dude, I'm going to do this fucking again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the 25-year-old kid I was. I'm like an old man now, man. Like, I'm not trying to do this. Like, we should have stability and peace. So, like, if I had the chance to nip this in the bud,
Boom.
like, maybe I do it. So, like, to me, it was like, it felt real.
It's
that's
the
how I felt.
age-old, what is it, hypothetical. If you could go back and kill Hitler as a baby, would you do it?
Exactly.
You
That's
know?
what it is.
And it's, you would want to
That-
say, I
that
would
you
want
would
to do
wanna
it.
say,
But then
yeah.
when you're faced with the moment of having to kill
maybe
Hitler as a
things-
baby,
you know,
it's like,
and then you
it's
say,
a
well,
baby.
maybe things will turn out differently this
Yeah.
time, right? Like,
yeah.
So that's, I don't
Or maybe
think
he
it's-
turned into Hitler because you were
Right.
trying to kill him as a fucking baby. Right? Shit, this is what the story is. He went
Yeah.
and had a second thought, and then Kylo Ren turns into fucking Hitler.
And I think that when that all happened and it fell apart, I love the fact that Luke acknowledged the fact that the Jedi Order is cloaked in failure, right? Like the history of the Jedi
Yeah.
Order is really failure.
Oh, there was
and that
there
was
a
too
great
much.
bar.
I could understand how that could then become too much for me. Like he's now failed again, where he's seen so much failure where the Jedi were extinct.
Yeah.
Like I could see how you could become so dejected in that moment where you just want to
Yeah.
be isolated and be like, go figure this out.
And he has that moment where he said, and I even wrote down a quote: "Failure is the greatest teacher."
Right.
And then he goes,
Well,
"Masters."
Yoda told him that.
Yeah. Yoda says to him, "Failure is the greatest teacher," which is so true. Adversity introduces a man to himself. There's many different ways to say this, but like if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. There's tons of these self-help quotes which are all true, right? And then he goes, "Masters, we are what they grow beyond."
That is the true burden of masters.
Right.
Right.
Which is you're creating something
You're
that
creating
will be
something.
better than you. Yeah.
And that's how you're judged as a master. Not that you were the greatest Jedi, but
Yeah.
like that you then made
a
someone
greater-
better than you.
Yeah.
That's what your burden is.
Yeah.
That's what I took it as.
And he wasn't ready to do that because of the fear
Yeah.
of him becoming even more powerful than a Darth Vader.
Yeah.
What annoyed me and what was so great about it was that Kylo never was told that he wasn't actually going to kill him. That it was the moment of that he had this moment of I don't want to go through this, and then he was like, "Listen, I'm not going to do it." It was
Right.
just a fleeting moment.
Right.
So he's still holding on to this idea.
Because from Kylo's perspective, he might not have known that. That might be legitimate from
Fam,
his perspective. You know
yo,
what I'm
this
saying?
whole series is daddy issues.
I believe that was
Think about it,
Yeah.
right? Kylo's daddy issue is he didn't know, this is his father figure,
You're
who
right.
then is about to kill him.
Right.
And then he has this new father figure, Snoke, who's just a piece of shit to him.
Right.
And he'll do anything to please, right?
Right.
And then Shorty, what's her name? Who's so stunningly beautiful. What
Daisy Ridley.
Right, yeah, oh my God. It's like,
You know I'm in on that.
I know you are, but it is like
She looks particularly
almost
great in this one.
hard to look at.
Adorable.
Natural beauty.
Just fantastic.
And her daddy issues the whole time. Who are my parents? Who are my
Right.
parents? And you're saying parents to be polite. Who's my dad? No one's really searching for the mom like that. Let's be honest, right? And that's what the motivating factor is for her the entire time. She's
So-
just trying to. She jumped into the hole.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Luke in the original trilogy.
But so that to carry on that, that's another piece of the criticism was that Rey's lineage meant nothing.
Yeah, but
I don't believe that's real.
I think in the next movie
We're
find
gonna
Oh,
find out.
no, I liked it.
Ray was
and
just saying-
and
I mean, Kylo was just
I
saying
liked
that.
it, and I believe it's real. Like I don't think like LeBron James is just some kid from Ohio. Like he's not doesn't come from any great gene or genetic. You know what I'm saying? Like these heroes can come from nowhere. I don't feel like
I have
it
a
has
feeling
to
there
be
might have been a little infidelity in
but
that
in the
family.
entire universe, it's
Somebody-
like
I have a feeling that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made a sled into Cleveland for a game, and then I think that his mom might have been in
Gloria was at the
Akron.
right bar.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway-
think there might have been a little convenience in that situation. LeBron goes 6'8", 260, the most perfect human specimen out of fucking nowhere. Are you kidding me?
It can happen.
And imagine if he was well fed. This is probably poor, not great nutrient diet producing the greatest human specimen in history.
Yeah.
Imagine he grew up in Greenwich, Connecticut, eating organic kale his entire life. Gotta be 7'7".
it's yeah, I get it. But I just think that even if it is true, it doesn't bother me because you have this great universe and like it doesn't have to be about fucking
I think-
Skywalkers
I'm
and
with you.
solos.
Well, Anakin
and
was a
everything.
nobody.
Huh?
Anakin was a nobody.
Anakin was created by
I'm
the
with
Force.
you. I'm with you.
Right?
I think it's a possibility, but I also think that they're throwing us for a loop.
Sure, maybe.
They're throwing the scent off the trail,
I hope not.
and eventually we'll find
I
that
hope
there's some
not.
kind of
I
connection.
hope that they were drunk traders and they're nothing, and that she's just fulfilling her destiny.
And you know what? That'd actually be more relatable because all these kids that watch this movie, they're
Right.
nothing.
Exactly.
And they get no. I mean that all of us. We don't come from fucking
Right.
the kings and
Which
queens.
Was,
You know
that
what I mean?
line
Like,
was excellently delivered by Driver. Remember he said, "You're nothing."
yeah.
That
Like
was
he
the best.
he stepped out of character. He turned back into you're nothing, bro.
You're nothing.
He said, "Bro," right? He's like, shorty, you're trash.
That was the best. That was actually fantastic.
But
What a
like-
gift he is. to
but
the
what
Oh,
about like
and
that-
the pecs.
What about the kid at the end? Right, like
Yeah.
the last scene,
Yeah, that
that
was like,
kid
what?
that's in the casino town comes out. You see, he has the power. He pulls the broom to him.
Yeah,
What?
Did you not catch that?
that's a corporate
You
ending.
didn't see
by-
I
that?
didn't know
This is
that.
big.
Yeah.
That
So-
little kid, he walks out by himself, and before he grabs,
didn't see that?
He grabs
No,
the broom.
I was probably like, I don't know. I missed
Yeah,
that.
you were
pulls the
cleaning the
broom to
cum
him,
off of
and
your
he's
stomach.
Right? It looked like, remember that Genuine video? Where
Yeah.
he took the broom and started dancing? You know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
I do know
forget what song, but
Basically,
yeah,
he
it
used
was
the
that
force
thing,
to
and I
make
was
the
waiting for him
broom
to do
come
a
to his
spin.
hand.
The kid who got the
And
rebel.
then he has the rebel ring that he
Ring.
got from the Asian chick.
Right.
right? So he starts sweeping up and he's looking into the sky, and then you see a thing. And
This
the
kid's a
idea
nothing
is,
kid too.
Right. No,
Right.
I'm into it.
but the
with the
theme is
power.
we're the spark that starts the flame, right? And
Right.
just
But the real
them
theme
being
is there's another trilogy coming after this trilogy.
about
It's
the
gonna be
kids.
Yeah,
no, we have the kids.
It's just a
trilogy.
corporate ending.
Well,
by
Ryan
Disney.
Johnson has signed on not to do the next film, but his own separate trilogy.
That's why, because of that
That's-
ending. Because he's
We're
going to do a
gonna
whole
just
new...
like the X-Men got the kids.
Exactly.
Now we
New
have
class.
new
Star
class.
Wars new class.
Star Wars new class, which is smart. Let them go, and people make
Yeah,
millions
yeah.
of dollars.
And then the other criticism that you hit on already too, you talked about with Snoke, is that he was killed with no backstory. Fine with it. I was fine with that.
I wasn't
too.
fine with it at all.
What do you mean
Okay.
killed with no backstory?
You didn't really get to
You don't know
who Snoke
anything
was
about
or anything
Snoke.
about who
Yeah.
he is. Right.
He's built up in the first movie as the big bad, right? He's the emperor, and then we know nothing about him, and he just fucking dies.
Yeah, how does he become the emperor? Why does his face look like a testicle?
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's the, so a lot of people didn't like that. I didn't bother me because like when you look back to the first 3 Star Wars, like no one really gave a fuck who the Emperor was. It was Vader. Everyone still talks about Vader, right? So yeah, you had that great moment at the end of Return of the Jedi, and that's when you really first get to see Palpatine, which was great. But like, I think that Ryan Johnson probably sensed from the audience that like no one really cares about Snoke. They care about Kylo.
about the guy,
Let's just
yeah.
speed it up and get it to about him.
It's
real
also a
quick,
sense-
real quick. Palpatine and was Snoke in this one?
He was the Emperor.
We're both emperors, right?
They're the master,
Supreme beings or whatever.
You can have 2 Sith Lords at any time. One a master, one an
apprentice.
And he was the Emperor and the master. Vader
Right.
was his apprentice.
So Palpatine was the first master,
Yes.
and then in this one, Snoke is the master.
Correct.
Yeah.
Being a master, horrible for your skin. I
Yeah,
think it's
not great.
not good for your skin.
Not great.
Ages you. It is very difficult to be a master. So
Correct.
maybe a
But
little
yeah,
acknowledgement.
I got a little bit of a Game of Thrones influence in that part of the plot. Is that like it's kind of out with the old generation, in with the new, the younger generation. It's like the killing of Tywin, the killing of Snoke. Like
Yeah,
out
it's
with the
over,
past,
man.
kill the
Kill the
past.
past.
Yeah, kill the past.
Kill
That's
the
what he said.
past.
He said
Yeah.
he says that a lot. in the
Well,
movie.
that makes it more believable. Like when you see someone like Palpatine and you're saying like, how could this guy Palpatine, who just feels evil, right, because of his face and everything like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
how could Luke be drawn to join this guy? You know he's evil, right? When they kill off Snoke and they have that moment in the throne room, like, and I looked at you and I was like, not a bad offer. When he's like, listen, fuck Snoke. He's dead.
Yep.
Fuck that guy. He's evil.
Yeah.
It's me and you. Like, why can't we do this? Fuck the First Order. Fuck the rebellion. Because the rebellion's now the Republic's been in power now since the last one. So they're fucking up again because they can't get peace right either. And so now he's saying, like, why don't we do this together? It's just, at least to me, made it more believable that Rey could actually be lured in by that. Like, that actually seems like something that could be.
Well,
felt
maybe
real.
she's becoming
She's
the
too
Luke.
idealist.
Well, she's
She's
becoming
the
the Luke
ideal.
fold.
No, I'm not saying. I know why she didn't. I'm
Okay,
saying
okay.
that makes it
So
believable.
let's acknowledge
Snoke
that.
luring someone in is not believable because you could just feel
How evil he is. But Adam, she
The same
believes
way
in
that
him,
the story-
trusts him,
Oh, yeah, the
senses.
same
Got
way
it.
that the same way the Emperor.
I think it was a great deal.
Yeah,
And maybe this can get us into my biggest problem with the Star Wars series in general. But I think it'd be a great deal because she could have easily negotiated for the survival of her people. She goes, listen, I'll be on you. There's 20 people over there.
right.
Do me a favor. Don't kill those people. Bring them aboard the ship. Take away the suits. Not everybody has to have a suit.
And maybe this what balance really means, right? If we do this together, maybe they balance each other
so
out,
here's
right?
and maybe that is what happens in the final one. So because there's a lot of let the past go. So they're priming us to let the past go. Not just them. They're
Right.
priming the audience. Forget that he killed his dad.
Right.
Forget that he's done this. He didn't kill his mom.
Right.
These are major moments.
Right.
And that they want us to know as an audience. I think they're priming us to forgive Adam. And in a weird way, maybe they both rule. There has to be a king, there has to be a queen. Like there's these two things that come together.
But
Maybe
when they
that's
talk
how-
about the balance of the Force, maybe that's what they mean.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
brings
yes,
balance.
yes, yes.
I'm argue against that.
Okay,
right?
go.
'Cause so in this movie, the first time I saw this movie, like you're kind of like, so Rey, she's attracted to the dark side, right? Isn't that what Luke
Girls
tells her?
love bad
You went
boys.
straight to the dark side.
No,
When
no,
she
it's not
started
that she's
getting-
attracted to it; it's that she's not rejecting it right away. She's,
Right.
she's trying to feel it out. She doesn't know.
You're
all
kind
of
of watching. I think they did it, like you're kind of watching. Like, oh, is she gonna go dark?
right.
Right. And at one point, I was like, this would be amazing if this switch. This ends up where she's the bad
Ooh,
and he's the good.
You know,
Yeah.
that couldn't happen.
But I had that thought for like
Sure.
5 minutes when
Sure.
the first time I watched the movie. I don't think that's the case anymore, right?
Well, he killed his dad. Like you
Yeah.
can't fully come
I
back
get
and
you,
become
right?
the good guy.
Now, you're watching Driver. He's become. You're kind like you really like him. Like at least when I watch it,
Yeah.
I really like him.
But you like him because he's a quality actor.
I like him because he's a quality actor, but like,
And he's giving a great
No, but the
performance.
performance he's giving is also like I'm conflicted. You're seeing like a frightened
Kid.
kid.
Right,
That's
right.
the size with pecs the size.
Great pecs.
His wingspan is wild.
God,
though.
Great pecs. Yeah.
Disproportionate wingspan. He's got
Peculiar
arms.
gait. Usually, people that tall aren't that kind
That
of
wide.
pigeon-toed, but
Yeah.
he's a. I've actually
He's
met
a
him.
thick dude.
Yeah.
You met him?
Well, he's with Gersh.
Oh, okay.
But he's with my age, so I've seen him walk out of the fucking thing, and I just wave.
Hey, shout out
the
former
agency.
Marine.
That's right. That's another thing I was
yeah,
gonna say. Like the dude, you think that he's this soft beta male in the show Girls.
He's an enlisted Marine.
Dude's an enlisted Marine. Yeah, he put the work in.
I've seen him walk down the
Hua.
street. He walks the exact same way.
Yeah.
He's a fucking presence. But anyway, that scene, right? The last time they see each other, and they look at each other, he just enters. They escape, right?
He's a presence.
He's a presence. sorry.
I talked about his
talented actor.
pecs, but there's nothing as gay as saying another man is a presence.
Let me tell you, he is a presence.
On a crowded New York street, that motherfucker stood up. And I looked at his face, and I was like, oh, shit, that's homie from Girls.
You knew his name. You knew exactly who it was.
No, he is a presence.
What were you saying?
That last scene, right, where, like, they see each other, and then she closes the door on his face,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that was the defining, like, she's going to go on, be the good. He's now alone as fuck. He has no Snoke. He has no one over him. He's got Hux, who really doesn't fuck with him.
Yeah.
He's alone. He was alone in that room, and I think that was a metaphor for, like, he's alone in life now. And now he's
That's
going to
what
go
they say.
fully...
They say it to each other. He says, "You're not alone," and she says to him, "You're not either."
But now he is.
Right.
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 And so is she technically. But
So-
we don't know yet. It's not over. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the thing with the pull to the light and the darkness, it just doesn't end.
No,
in
but
calm.
he's saying no. I think now he goes full bad. He completely
Sure,
breaks bad.
right.
And that's why I'm shooting down your theory of like maybe they come in together at the
No,
end.
that's a fair
I
assumption.
think he look at that. I think he is. I
Body.
think that's it.
He's full
He
bad.
becomes
Body.
full villain.
He already
and then
has by the end of
you're-
this.
And then you're actually gonna feel bad when they actually have to kill him.
But the thing is, the whole point of this is that it never fully ends. Like Luke
Right.
says
It's a
to him,
constant balance.
Luke says to
Benicio put it the best.
no. Luke says it to
Benicio
to
always
Le-
puts it the best.
no.
Yeah.
Luke says it to
He's
Leia.
a presence.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Luke says it to Leia that no one's ever really gone when she's talking about son.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Vader was never technically really gone because he made that switch at the very end.
Right.
Even though he's not redeemable because he's done unredeemable things, but he's you can tell it that
Is
it's
this
a
the same?
concept thing.
Is that gonna be the same ending to this?
No, I hope not. But the problem is that J.J. Abrams is signing on to do the third one, which gives me pause. That
Why?
It might be. Because the first one, so my whole thing is I didn't like The Force Awakens
Me neither.
that much. I thought visually it was great, especially compared to the first three prequels.
It didn't
one-
take any.
this
It didn't
one-
take any risks.
it
It
took
just did the
zero-
same,
This
the
better on
same exact
all-
thing. Carbon
all
copy.
levels.
But it was a carbon copy of
Of it.
Episode 4,
Yep.
A New Hope. It was blow up the Death Star. It was Han Solo slick talking. It was the orphan from fucking the Sandy Planet,
Mm-hmm.
and it was exactly the same. And with a lightsaber scene, and then there was also some things that were weird. It was like, well, how did Rey like just beat Kylo Ren when like she's never picked up a lightsaber before? I like that this movie addressed that in the
Yep.
beginning and said, Snoke says you were like split.
pathetic, yeah.
Like, you were totally unhinged by the fact that you killed your dad and that's why you got bested by your
Mm-hmm.
I needed that explanation because I walked away from the first one thinking like, yo, this shit doesn't even make fucking sense. Right. So there was no risk taken. And this one, I thought Ryan Johnson went in there
Yeah.
and totally fucking made it
So
his own.
Ryan directed
And
this
we
one,
wrote the
Wrote and
script.
directed. Yeah.
and then JJ is going to direct the next one.
Correct.
Why wouldn't-
they had someone else sign
Why
up
wouldn't Ryan do it?
Because they gave Ryan his own trilogy.
So why would he knock this last one out
can't
and
do,
then do
you
your
can't do two
trilogy?
in a row with this level of movie. This
Why?
high level. It's like 2-3 years out of your life.
Oh,
to
it's
go
that
back
demanding.
And, yeah.
You
So like
just-
J.J. Abrams did the first one. He took a couple of years off. Now he's going into the last one. You can't go back to back.
It's
with
that
these.
intense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
Did
Okay,
Lucas do
real-
all of them?
Yeah.
No, he did. No,
The
he.
first,
he,
I'm talking about the first.
he only directed
Oh.
the first one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, real quick with their decision to do the carbon copy of Episode 4, I think that was not only done purposely, but an intelligent decision for
To
getting
retell the story to new fans.
exactly. And they care more about the new fans because the reality of the matter is they know the old fans are watching it regardless. So why not get these new fans, like kind of like myself, on board and invested in this cool story with the most perfect story ever told already at your disposal?
So the funny thing is that the first one, A Force Awakens, was not as big with critics, but was huge with the Star Wars
With the fans,
fanboys.
because it was safe.
Because the fanboys, it was safe. It was what they
It
liked.
didn't
It's
kill the
same
past.
story,
It
yeah.
didn't kill the past. It was the
And
same.
then you're also bringing in new fans.
yep. Who loved it?
But I guess more critical movie fans were the ones who didn't like it.
Well, you guys, I would say a little bit more critical,
Yeah.
right? You,
But I'm also like a fanboy a little bit too. Like I really like this stuff. Of
But
all the
I
shit
would
that we
say
talk
you're
about,
picky with content. And
extremely.
exactly. So that's where you're going to nitpick on it. And then, Jack, obviously, you're so invested being in the business, you're going to see that this is a carbon copy.
Yeah. I really walked away from Force Awakens being like, oh, this whole trilogy is fucked.
Same.
But this totally brought it back for me. I still have gripes with this movie, but
But
overall, I
don't.
liked
But
it.
like,
What are your
don't you
gripes?
think that the third one's gonna be fucked as well?
I feel like now that Ryan
Why?
has had his fingerprints on it, JJ can't really go back to like a formulaic third movie. Hopefully.
Wait, what were your
Or he might
gripes?
find a way.
Hopefully.
Well, I think that the story is gonna be the story, right? Like it'll get written. Who's writing the script?
JJ got
They have that
JJ.
council.
They actually had someone else. They've already thrown him off, and JJ's doing it.
Well, and Lawrence Kasdan, who's like been the writer all along, he's a part of it.
But the reality of the matter is, no matter who directs
But
it,
visually,
JJ has to
visually,
okay it.
Like this
That's-
movie was
yeah.
fucking dope.
So they're not going to make anything without JJ's approval,
Even-
even Ryan Johnson's
this one.
thing.
Yeah.
So he gives the ultimate okay.
Correct.
So whether JJ writes it or this guy Kasdan writes it, whatever, JJ is the one who's ultimately giving
Yo,
permission.
opening scene of the movie.
Incredible.
Right.
Fantastic.
Oscar Isaac. What's his name?
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Oh,
Poe
Poe
Dameron.
Dameron.
Poe.
Stupid
Right.
name.
So he's kind of he trolls General Hux. Right. It's funny. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
building up this thing. Then the funny thing we talked about this in Justice League. They don't take like.
Doesn't take himself too serious.
Right.
It's a little,
Yeah.
He's got a little Han Solo in him. It's,
Is J.J. Abrams going to do this? Did he do this in the first one? I don't recall.
no, not so much, or it wasn't as good.
But
Yo.
it breaks the ice right off the bat.
Right.
And it was just
Who knows? I mean, you got to give him a chance to do it. But I hear what your point. There's
Yet
concerns. I'm
yet
concerned.
another man leaves. What's the shorty's name again? Ray. Did you guys notice this?
Well, I noticed that there's like a love.
let's.
Yet
Triangle.
another,
Rectangle now.
yet
Yeah,
another
rectangle, yeah.
man leaves Ray. I think what it really was is the producers were like, "Listen, we want Oscar Isaac to fuck Ray. We
You
don't
saw the
want
look
this."
that they gave each other.
Who? Oscar
When-
Isaac and
yeah,
Ray?
when they-
Hell yeah,
I
I
was
saw that
surprised
look.
that they hadn't met.
He said, "I know." She's like, "I'm
Yeah.
Ray." He's like,
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he been whacking off to you
Look at her.
in
Look at her.
hyperspeed.
Look at her. Oh my.
Oh, she's
goodness.
stunning. But
Great.
I think the producers, and realistically speaking, when I saw the first time, I thought his character was too goofy to handle a Ray.
Oscar Isaac's a good-looking dude.
Not Oscar.
Oh, Finn.
Oh, Finn.
Finn.
Yes.
So I thought Finn was too goofy for a Ray. I think you need another hero. You need a Han Solo
Yeah, man. You need that
for
alpha,
Ray,
bro.
right? You need that alpha,
You need that
and
alpha, bro.
and I think that Finn deserves a portly Asian. You know what I mean? I think that that's a perfect collab. Don't you think that works great?
I do.
"Do you think that the portly Asian really wins that?"
Fam, how they gave the Asians the yin and yang. Like, that was too on the button. Like,
What
her
do you mean
yin
wins
and
that?
yang necklace?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was crazy.
If you're Finn, right?
Yeah.
You have the Jedi, the
Well,
pretty
yo,
Jedi.
The pretty Jedi's going with Poe, bro.
Poe-
He's going with
that's the
flyboy.
flip today.
No, but yo,
She's
when
going
she
with the
hugged
flyboy.
Finn, man, there was a lot of love there.
That was friends,
When-
son. That was friends.
No, when she lifted the rocks and Finn runs down, they hug each other.
Yeah, no,
that was more than just like a that wasn't a friend zone hug.
That was friends.
That
They
was-
would have kissed. They would have kissed.
Well, that's the rectangle.
That's the rectangle. Rose is into Finn. Finn's still into Ray. Ray might
Isaac
be
come-
into
come
Oscar.
in here and
It seemed
swinging
like
that
Finn was
dick.
no, it seemed like Finn was kind of into Rose.
Finn fucks with
No,
Rose.
yeah, kind of, but
Tucked
not-
her up,
He-
tucked
he-
her in.
he-
Well, I mean, he don't want her to
Swallowed
die.
her.
Son, who
You
was
don't
more
want her to
comfortable,
die.
Rose or us at the eye pick with our blankets?
Yo, she was out. What are your criticisms?
I
Yeah,
have
what
a-
did you
I have
not
like?
like?
I have like logistical things.
Let's
so
go.
like,
Let's
the
go.
whole- The whole thing in the beginning where the dude who looks like me, apparently, General Hux, is like, it's just a matter of time. And then they're just following the fucking ship, and it's like,
Yeah.
all right, this is gonna be the rest of the movie, right? They set that it's like 18 hours or whatever. What do they say? It's gonna be
Yeah,
18
yeah,
hours,
yeah.
right?
9 hours.
All of a sudden they're like, let's, and so this is like the whole formula for Empire Strikes Back, and it's kind of similar here, where it's like the Jedi are off doing their thing, and the Help are all like trying to do their little missions, and at the
Correct.
end they join together. My problem was they're like, all right, let's go down to this casino, and then they get to the casino and they're like, whoa, look at this, they're like hanging out.
So the
It's like-
casino thing was not good.
The casino thing sucked. Like, just take out the casino. I feel like they needed that. I feel like that was like
Correct.
a studio decision to be like, we need a locale, because part of Star Wars is all about like the planet that they go to, and like it goes into like sales of like toys and all that stuff. But like
100% right.
the whole movie takes place in space, like in a ship, so they had to have like a place to go.
Those
To me,
little
it was just
fucking
like,
horse things. That
Yeah,
they
yeah,
ride on,
that's just a
the
toy,
bunny
dude.
ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need that.
So I had a problem with that. And then you get into like timeline where like Rey is on this planet. And she's there for like 3 days, but only like a day of the movie takes place basically in a day. and Rey is there for like.
Okay, so hold on. That's the
that-
part.
is that the
no.
alleged timeline of this movie?
Hold on,
Well,
time
they
out.
present the timeline up front, and the whole thing happens within 18 hours.
hold
But
on.
Rey is off like hanging out with Luke
Back
for like
up,
4
back
days.
It was like 4 nights there.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, but
Hold
we
on.
know from watching Interstellar that time in one place might be different from
That's
time
the
in another
thing.
place.
That's what I
space
took
time,
away from it.
space time, guys. Space time.
She's doing her own separate time
I don't know if
frame.
I can handle this.
Son,
You know
this
what I'm
is
saying?
factual. This is
Yeah.
not even. I mean, the closer you get to the speed of light, right, the slower time is going to be. Right? If you can go past the speed of light, then you're going back in time. That's how it works.
wouldn't Luke have not aged, or wouldn't he be affected by this time change? Like, I don't know. It was never set up. If it was explained that like
No,
this,
it's like an Empire Strikes Back. Like he was in Dagobah for like a year. Like that's what they. That's
Was
what
he?
yeah.
okay.
That's
All
how
I'm-
they set it up.
All I'm saying is you could be on this planet. It is not only possible, it is the reality that one day on one planet
Could be totally
equals
different.
5 days on another planet. I mean, the whole point of Interstellar was that, right? If
Mm-hmm.
we go spend one day here, 30 years are going to pass over here. So this
Right.
is actually mathematically possible.
Well,
That
leave
we
it
can-
up
but
to
not
your
presented in the
imagination.
world of Star Wars.
not presented
Correct.
well.
Right.
Not presented well at all.
So I had a couple issues with like just the timeline of things, but
Okay.
I thought it was fun. I also, it's like the non-force enabled characters just fuck shit up. Like they think they're helping and they just end up making it worse.
So the thing that really bothered me was I felt the Poe defiant
Dude, the-
stuff was over the top. You can't
Dude,
have
so
a,
over the top.
You
He-
can't have a mutiny in a military organization. Everyone leave with a smile.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how that shit works.
Yeah.
also,
You know what I
like that
mean?
Leia
She's
doesn't.
so
Fired on
court-martialed.
dudes.
Like-
Like short, the admiral,
Like, Poe
whatever.
could have been
Holdo.
executed. Like that's
Yeah.
how that shit
Also,
was.
Leia's just like men. Like
Yeah.
ugh, I
That
didn't
was
like
too
that either.
much. It was over the top.
Yeah, just tell him. Like he's going on this
Do you
whole
think
mission.
that it was like there was a concerted
Effort. Yeah.
concerted
concerted.
effort made for all the women to be in charge on the good guys team and all the men to be in charge on the bad guys team?
No.
Kathleen Kennedy, who's like the head of Lucasfilm.
Oh, you think that
Oh.
was
yeah, I think that's just like her being like, we got to present.
Because you have the guy who's like, I'm going to
Represent.
be a hero, I'm going to be brash, which is the masculine persona, which is the
Exactly.
masculine energy, and they're showcasing how really dangerous this is to humanity if you have the patriarchy making the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let women make the decisions. First time we let a woman make decisions, Hillary Clinton
I've-
should try to steal an
but
election,
at the same
but whatever.
Time,
we
they, were also,
might,
they were also grooming him for leadership,
Settle.
right?
sorry.
But at the same time, but they were still grooming him for leadership. Like at the end, he's like, "Oh, we got to go this way," and everyone looks to Leia, and she says,
Follow him.
Follow him."
Great point.
Right?
Okay, so maybe I
And
think
the
there was
reality is, in all of these Star Wars movies, is that the real hero was Leia, always, and still is. That's the reality of all this.
brings me to another gripe.
Yeah.
The Mary Poppins fucking
I'm into it.
flying
See,
by.
that didn't bother me.
Superman. Yeah.
She is
totally took me out of the fucking movie in that moment. I was
really.
like, fuck this.
I liked it.
See, what I like about Leia is that it's never really like acknowledged. You know, she's force enabled,
Sensitive,
right?
yeah.
Force sensitive, but it's never really like she uses it when she like senses things. She never like flies. Like
So to this, I felt was kind of an ode to the extended universe, and so much, and also how Luke projects himself across the
I like that.
right.
Yeah.
So this movie got into force powers that they don't normally have
Right.
explored
Right.
before.
Well,
So I liked it. I was like, okay, Leia is strong with the force and that she's a Skywalker, and we got to see her do something that saved her life in her mission. And that didn't bother me, but I could see what you're saying.
There,
People
there
thought it
could
was
have been
goofy.
there could have been a less goofy way to
Yeah, people thought it
to
was
show
goofy.
your powers.
I thought it was
just
gonna turn into a musical at that moment. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
But because she's unfortunately passed in real life.
That's
right?
the thing.
It was a crazy twist for me because I thought that
I thought she's
that
dead.
was it.
Boom. This is
We're
how we
done,
get through
right?
it. Yeah.
That's what I said too. I was like, all right, so obviously they didn't know she was gonna die. They shot all her scenes. Why didn't they make the decision to
Kill her off right there.
kill her off in that moment?
Yo,
then
because
they bring her
she's
back.
she's the real hero.
No, this is why she got the thing on her finger. She needed to get that back to the people. So there was the homing beacon.
Yeah.
So what I thought they were going to do is have her come back, let go of the homing beacon, and then she's dead.
Yeah.
And that would have been a smart way to kill off the character, get the homing beacon back to the people who need it, so that Rey can come back, and now you don't have to deal with her or putting CGI on her face for the next movie.
But you already have a full movie worth of what she had given you,
And it affects-
and this is her last time on stage. Do you really want to just? All right, we're just gonna cut all the scenes we did with
Yes.
her. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
insensitive. I'd say at the minimum.
Insensitive to the dead.
I guess whatever. But
I'm just saying that's the tough decision you got to make as an exec, which
they're
is
not going to CGI her in the next one.
So then who's going to be her?
What's going to happen is my theory is that this is going to be like Return of the Jedi, where it's set a few years.
Oh,
farther down
she's
the
already
line.
died.
So it's not going to be right after the fact.
Oh, good call.
Right? It's
Okay.
gonna be she's gonna be have died somehow else. She's already started to pass the torch to Poe, and she's saved the rebellion. And now it's gonna be 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and like Luke is probably from the other side continue to train Rey, and then we're gonna go on from there.
I would have given her a heroic death instead of like a bullshit. You
Yo,
died
the real
in between
loser in
movies.
this is fucking.
you
Shout
think
out to
that-
General Akbar, bro.
Yo, dude.
Guy's been in since episode
He got a little mention. They're like, oh, Admiral Akbar died. And it's like, what? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's a
Okay.
big deal.
Okay.
Also, not enough Chewie. Not enough Chewie.
I thought
Yeah.
there was a lot of Chewie.
Wait. So, but any more gripes,
Those were my main ones, but
Haney?
I'm sure there were little things that I would pick up on
Because
if
there's
I
some
watched it again.
there's some things I want to discuss that I'm sure you guys, since you're Star Wars fans, understand about it. But
I got a
Haney,
lot of questions.
Yeah.
If I was a Star Wars fan, like you guys, the gripe I would have is
I love how you're going to
This-
project this
this-
gripe.
this is a
Projective gripes.
joke. Mark Hamill's head to body ratio.
Aside.
So
Yo, he's
fucked
really
up.
chesty, I
I
thought.
couldn't take him seriously. They had it, that scene where he's chugging the milk, where he milks the thing.
Yeah,
out
milks
that
the
thing,
teat, yeah.
and then chugs the milk. Yo, I couldn't take him seriously the whole time. Like
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker turned into a joke for me. And every time he come up, I'd be like, "Why is Zach Galifianakis' dad on the screen?" And
That's
why
a
is his,
contrarian take.
and why is his head so damn big?
The most people are saying giving Oscar buzz for his performance. Similar to like
Yo.
Sly Stallone and Creed.
Stop it.
It's
Yeah,
also important.
Get the fuck outta here.
I'm being
Yeah,
dead
I
serious
swear to God.
when I tell you
Get the
this.
fuck outta here.
I thought his acting in the first half of the movie was so poor it took me out of the movie, and I attributed
when
it
she
to.
first goes there, I could not take this guy.
I couldn't take him seriously
Every time
either,
I was
really.
scared, I smirked
I didn't
and
get that
laughed.
at all.
I
I could-
smirked and
yeah, but
laughed at how
I didn't get
funny
that at
looking
all.
he looked.
Did not like it at all. I thought his
I
act
didn't
was
get that
poor,
at
and
all.
I thought that he just hadn't acted in a while, and he was
He's
just
a
rusty.
stage actor. Hamill's
he?
out
He does
here.
a lot of
Dude,
voice work
this
now.
represents
voice work
Mark
now.
Hamill's body. The top of this microphone is his head. This is his body.
Yo, man, he had a giant robe on.
Which should make the body look bigger.
Bigger, but it doesn't.
The head
yeah.
still is this big.
Now he looks like a broom.
Are you
Yeah.
criticizing him because you're the opposite?
Wow.
See how angry he's getting
Wow.
at this? Son, that's his boy you're talking
Wow.
about, son.
How dare I talk about Luke Skywalker like that? But that was I actually.
But I'm
really
saying
liked the
most people actually have applauded his performance.
Fam, I'm very
Yeah.
objective. I got nothing to do with the thing, and I think half of the movie, the acting was awful.
First half?
First half,
Of him,
awful.
of him.
His acting was awful, and then it got better. You know what was horrible? This dust off the shoulder scene after they shot him with all the lasers.
So no, hold on.
Let me
So,
say
hold on.
one thing. Why? Dust off the shoulder, and nothing
There was no
happens.
dust there.
Well, he's
also.
There's absolutely no dust.
He's a hologram, so
And
there- yeah.
I know. But what I would have loved to happen was he does this, and all of a sudden every single gun bends in a certain way. There's some effect that happens because
Oh,
of the
that would've been
movement.
dope.
But he was literally trying to brush
been dope.
dust off of his shoulder. No, come on, we're not in it.
It was not great.
So-
That's a minor thing.
So Alex didn't really like the movie. This was Alex's second time seeing the movie too. He thought it was very cliche and kind of like pandering towards kids a little bit.
Yeah.
Am I speaking wrong, Alex?
Yo, it's not
and that's,
pandering
and that's
towards
a
kids.
scene, and that's a scene that, and I get why they're pandering towards kids. This is a.
Here's-
It should be pandering.
It's
towards
not
kids.
just pandering towards kids. It's pandering towards the kid inside of you. I'm serious.
Gotcha.
That's when I
Gotcha.
watched this shit. I felt like a kid. Like that shit touched me like that.
But that scene is that.
Didn't that you
the
felt?
brushing of the
Show me on
shoulder.
Haney where it touched you.
Yo, man. Ryan Johnson fondled
where
my
the
inner
walkie-
child.
Okay,
He
so
touched
let
you.
me
Wait,
just
wait.
ask some questions. All right, go.
Also, real quick, I should have brought this up when we were talking about the fans' gripes, but famously, like when they were shooting the movie, Mark Hamill didn't agree with where
Hated
Luke's.
it.
Yeah.
Yo, they beefed Ryan Johnson and Hamill.
And so in interviews, he like kind of vocally said he didn't agree with Ryan's vision
Oh,
for
that's
Luke.
why all the stands
And
were
so now
pissed.
now
They just
everybody's
do
like,
whatever he says.
and so he's come out now saying he actually regrets saying that because it fueled the fire, and he was kind of one of those people that thought Luke should just be like the holy, you know.
But Hamill's the one who goes to like these Star Wars expos. Like
Yeah.
he's the ones
Oh,
that the
yeah.
fans identify with because
course.
he's still in that scene.
That's his identity.
affects his
He has-
retirement.
He never moved on.
He
What else?
is-
What else did
He
Hamill
does
do?
a lot of voice work. He does
he's
Batman
known
series
as like
voice work.
he
He's
does
a
like
Joker.
It's like
famously
Jeremy
like the best
Piven
Joker
is
voice.
Ari from Entourage. You know what I mean? Like they start to attribute some of the
no, I
characteristics
get
of this
that.
famous character. So he, in a lot of ways, probably sees himself as this holy trinity or whatever it is, and he doesn't want to lose that. I get it. He doesn't want to be the bitch that almost kills his kid.
So is he gone?
Who's that?
Is Hamill in the third movie?
He'll be
Here's the thing. We know
gone?
now that Yoda, who can affect real life
Yeah.
objects. He affected
Correct.
the fire.
He affected
So
the
now
fire.
we know Luke can come back as a Force ghost and
That'll
like
happen.
directly affect things.
Just like it happened in the previous movies.
By the way, great that they used the puppet Yoda and not the CGI Yoda.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Great-
they
great
did a
call.
lot of puppet stuff in
Love
this
the
movie
puppet,
on
yeah, yeah,
purpose, and I
yeah.
thought it was kind of cool. You have the best graphics in the world at your disposal, and you purposely use these like plastic
It's
clay
the
toys
anti-George Lucas where he
That's
did
what
everything
they-
CGI in the last trilogy.
That's what they learned from the prequel.
Yeah.
that you
So-
don't need to do it.
It felt like it was a cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I wasn't a big. I like Star Wars. I've seen all the Star Wars kind of growing up. Yoda was always my favorite. So that was the only part that the kid in me
Got
kind
out.
of got out.
Yeah.
When Yoda first popped out, that's when.
That's
the
when you
feeling
got
that probably
touched.
felt the whole fucking movie.
movie.
Yeah.
That was the only time that I felt that feeling was when Yoda popped on the screen, and I just like got real giddy to myself.
Yeah.
That's when
Right?
you got diddled
Yeah.
by Star Wars. Yeah.
All right. So this has been my thing with Star Wars, and every time I've seen these movies, again, I don't know anything about the backstory. I didn't know anything about the characters or anything. I was just a casual viewer. I turn on TNT and a Star Wars movie would be on. I'd like listen, watch halfway through. And anytime they'd go to these like rebel outposts, right? It'd be like the Star Wars Cantina or whatever. They'd be at some bar and they walk in.
Yeah.
The music going. Two like aliens would get into a little argument. One alien would just shoot the other alien in the head. There'd be whores walking all around, right? And I'd have this visceral reaction, which was, maybe we need a little order. Maybe order's not bad.
Right.
Maybe what Darth Vader wants and maybe what the evil Empire wants
Right.
is not essentially the wrong thing. You know, like every action is a reaction to what's happening, right? So maybe you have the galaxy in complete disarray. Of course, motherfuckers are going to come over and they're going to clamp down, just like with religion, right? Everybody's going crazy out there in the Middle East a few thousand years ago,
Right.
and someone goes, "Hey, listen, no killing, no fucking your sister, no doing this, everybody chop the foreskin off." So I think that there's room to argue that there might be some order needed in the galaxy. Let's put that out there, and we'll discuss. And then I have something else on top of that.
So
This extreme
So here's
freedom
the
thing might be a
right?
little too
this
much.
is the only benefit of the first episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah.
Is that you got to see a little bit of the insight of the Republic and what things were
Mm-hmm.
before the Empire came in the internal politics.
Yeah.
And what we learned was that it was a very imperfect system, and then you had Jedi acting out of place
On their own.
on their own, being part of like trade negotiations. Like they were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing.
Right.
And then what we had was in a time of crisis, they elected Palpatine to become the emperor temporarily, and then he obviously ran that power, killed everybody, and
Right.
became the empire, right? But what you learn is both sides have had their problems ruling, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
when you're talking about what you're talking about, and like especially 4 through 6, when like Obi-Wan and thing, and they're in the bar, that's during the Emperor's rule, technically, right? So they're letting certain things go. Some things are important to them than others. So like this random outpost and like
They're like, we're not going to waste our
we're not gonna
resources
waste our
on that
time
shit.
with that. That's like small potatoes.
Okay.
Whereas maybe the Republic is focusing too much time on that.
Yeah.
And trying to bring peace to these like random places. It's like Game of Thrones, right? It's
Right.
like Marine, that whole thing. And then what we learned from this is now and this is the kind of the ode to history that this movie has, is that you just had peace in the galaxy after Return of the Jedi, right? They had the Battle of Endor, and then a year later, like it all ended the whole wars. Now they've been ruling for like 30 years, the Republic,
Yeah.
the new Republic. They're having issues again. The First Order kind of represents Germany post World War One, right? Where they're now right, like they didn't like they didn't.
Well,
get,
that was the next point I was going to
they
make.
didn't get rid, they didn't get rid of the Empire. They
Right.
put them in the outer realm, and like they
Yeah.
put certain, like
restrictions on
restrictions
them
against them, like we did in
economically.
a
They
peace
created an
treaty.
environment.
And then-
that-
And then now what the resistance is that it's a small galactic response because everyone's kind of turning a blind eye still.
right.
And don't want to acknowledge their growing influence like Hitler because they don't want to get dragged into another galactic war.
Right.
Right?
So they're
But
ignoring.
Leia sees the threat and has formed this small resistance to help combat it. It's a big fucking universe,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, so and now in the one that we've seen, which is episode 8, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now the Empire has taken over the galaxy.
We don't know. I don't think we're there yet.
We don't know
They're
the
not-
extent of what
We know
their
they're
control
continuing
is.
to grow,
Yeah.
and we know the resistance that was created to help is now been badly beaten and taken a loss. They now presumably have to go back to the New Republic, and Leia's going to say, "Hey, we need more help" or something.
So there
But
is.
we don't know where it's going to go.
There
from
is
here.
still a New Republic that exists.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing I was thinking is it's interesting that you bring up the the World War II and the whole Hitler thing because what was looked almost as pretty obvious from episode 7 when I was watching. No, is that episode 8? No, 7. That was
Force
the last
Awakens,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, Force Awakens. Was that the empires of the United States of America and Al Qaeda or ISIS or just random Middle Eastern countries are the resistance, the rebellion. And there was a moment. Did you see when the empires has like their little car or something like that was driving through the town? And everybody else is wearing like rags, their kind of faces covered and stuff like that. And you have random people just setting off an explosive in front of it. And if you even look at this one, how many suicide bombings that we have? The whole thing opens up with a suicide bombing. Yeah. Shorty takes her plane, goes into hyperdrive, drives it right into the what is it called? The
that cannon.
Yeah. Well, no, before that.
No, the dreadnought.
The dreadnought, right?
Yeah.
And there's this great appreciation, and they have to run on faith and what
was a
could
dope
happen.
Scene too, by
it was
the
a
way.
great scene, amazing scene. I'm surprised they never did that before. But there's constant suicide bombings. Like there's all these themes that going. Yeah. You have they're undermanned, they're underweaponed. Yeah. Even in the last battle scene, they're driving these rickety ass little fucking.
It's like an insurgency.
It's
right.
So. And I'm starting to wonder. It's like, well, who represents who? Are we the Empire?
Well,
now?
that's always been kind of the question a little bit. Obviously, like there is a good side and a bad side, but there's always like the deeper question has always been like, how good are the good guys?
Yeah,
how bad.
And I think
that's
what Benicio del Toro was trying to talk about. He's like, both of y'all are shitty.
Yeah.
And that little town right there, maybe that was Switzerland.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm going to remain neutral. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to get rich. We're going to be Gucci. Everything's fine. But we're really pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm just saying, you could apply it really to what's going on right now. Now, Haney, you have more stake in the game in this question. What do you feel? How do you...
Next question.
No comment. I'd like to keep traveling. But what is your guys' response to that? Do you feel like there's a
I think it's always
correlation between those two?
The current, landscape, political landscape. It's always going to reflect the times, and that's basically what's happening now. But
I think it can be either or. I think it's your perspective can be either or.
What is your perspective?
Because my perspective was I don't think
you think it's still a reflection of World War II and not.
I think you just naturally assume Nazi Germany when you look at the.
Look, I would prefer to assume that.
Yeah.
Right, but I think it was in episode 7. It was just like it was pretty blatantly obvious in this one scene. There you have these Empire soldiers patrolling, patrolling this foreign land that they have no business being there, and then you have it felt like I was watching a scene from what's a random war movie that is recently, not Saving Private Ryan, something more recent.
Black Hawk Down,
or the the guy who disables the bombs, whatever that movie was.
Yeah, Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker. It felt like I was watching a scene from that, and. If that is the case, it's an interesting choice that Hollywood would pick that side to align the heroes with.
Yeah, I just think it looks like global power dynamics as a whole, and how it's always very tough to tell who's right, who's wrong, and what's the best decisions are. Even if you have the purest intentions,
it will be corrupted.
Something will happen where you have to make a hard decision that someone's going to get hurt and someone's not, right? And you have to try and do what's best for everyone.
Dude, every time they go to war, the rebels. They lose half of the people. It's insane, and there's no hug or kiss goodbye or nothing. It's shocking how much life is lost from the rebel side. No,
and
it's constant. It never ends.
Constant,
just like today,
bro. There wasn't even enough for a full court game at the end of the movie. There was 9 of them inside the cave.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, they couldn't run 5s.
They couldn't run 5s.
No.
Whew, heavy. Why? And it's weird. You don't care about life in this world.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
I thought about that. Watching it this time, this is it's a kid's movie, kinda.
Yeah.
But a lot of people die.
A lot of death. Yeah.
Tons.
They don't really
death.
show it ever.
They don't have. That's how.
That's how you maintain the PG-13.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not you see all this stuff dying, but then they don't ever show it, so you don't care.
Yeah.
And I've thought about that for that's kind of weird that we assume we don't.
What makes us care?
Yeah. What makes us care? Seeing it actually makes us care.
It's more than seeing the person get killed. It's seeing it after. It's seeing the body
impact.
Dead.
Sure.
All this movie was playing Mindhunter, right? You start out, you have a bunch of squares, and then one battle, now there's half the squares. Another battle, now there's a quarter. Another battle, keep going.
But part of that is for the rating.
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's got to be PG-13, so they can't show those things.
But it's also nicer to watch because it's not heavy.
You don't want to see it.
Yeah,
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. I want to have fun in this world.
No,
not Star Wars.
I agree. I agree.
That's not what I'm signing up for.
I just want them to float away and then
with
eventually find a planet and then they'll do
Right.
something else. But they're dead.
Yeah.
Like we saw thousands of people die in this episode.
Yeah.
Like every one of those carriers that was going to the planet that got
Dead.
blown up. That's
Oh, yeah.
what, a few hundred people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is this PG-13? This is a Holocaust.
They don't-
We just watched. What?
Mass
This is
murder.
monstrous,
Yeah.
dude.
It's a galactic war, man. There's gonna be casualties. I don't know, man.
Whew.
That's fine.
We lost a whole wing to the Empire spaceship.
We sparked the light, though. We gotta start the new resistance.
Saying that's 20,000 people.
Yeah, man.
I wonder what the official body count is.
Son,
lot.
how many people died in Hiroshima?
I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know. It's a lot. I mean, I get it. We get where you're going with this.
Whew. It's heavy now. Doesn't the movie feel heavy?
Let's move on.
Yeah, this just took a
Let's
turn.
move on. So I have another bullshit gripe.
Yep.
So at the beginning, Kylo Ren, first time he speaks, he has the mask on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His voice sounds exactly like Kanye's voice at the end of Runaway, where he just starts just like
Yeah.
humming for like 8 minutes for no reason. That was exactly it, and I was kind of hoping I'd get that voice for like at least half the movie.
Yo, but I like
But he
that. Though.
takes the mask off and it's gone for the rest of the movie.
I
Yeah,
like
why
that
is
he.
that bullshit, though?
Yo, basically,
Oh,
Kylo.
you're saying it's a bullshit gripe. It's not really a real gripe. It's when you're upset with. But
Yeah,
you
it's not a
get
real
to hear
gripe.
Kanye's
Yeah.
quarterback.
I want to hear, yeah.
Okay.
I like that Kylo Ren is basically a Darth Vader fanboy, and he's like cosplaying. He like built this mask, and it's like old school. He's like paying homage to like what this used to represent. And then Snoke is like, take that shit off. What the fuck?
Well, the irony is,
Snoke is walking around so fucking ugly. He's got a hole in
Yeah.
the side of his face.
Yeah.
One of his eyes is just swollen, bulbous, and he's like, "We're not face covering
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
guys.
Well,
this is what we
if
look
one
like."
person was
Yeah.
gonna cover their face, it would be fucking me.
Oh, you have a scar? I want that scene. Oh, does your scar look bad?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen my mouth? There's a hole. I can't eat anything. It falls out the side of my face.
Yeah. What the?
the irony is that Vader hated wearing that mask. That was a big thing.
Yeah, he
hated
had to
wearing
wear it.
But
didn't
why
wanna
would he wear it?
He would wear it because he had to breathe.
Ah, he
and
couldn't
he would spend
survive with
time
that.
meditating to heal his lungs so he wouldn't have to wear it.
How do you know this about him? You read his fucking diary? What the hell is going on here?
No, so
Was that in the
Vader
movie?
diaries?
Am I missing the scene with a quill? A quill by itself is just writing, and Vader's in a corner like this,
if you get bored,
weeping.
if you get bored, there's random things on the internet you can look up.
Let me tell you
like,
something.
what
I will
if-
never be so bored that I'm going to research
that you would
The
look
Vader
up
diaries.
Vader's breathing techniques.
what does Vader do in his free time?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
that was the thing. That
You
was- that was-
Googled it?
yeah.
Who is allowed to contribute? Is it Wikipedia? Can we go write something about
Well,
Vader? and have
it's
it
called
come-
Wikipedia.
Well, what's it called?
God.
Wikipedia.
No.
No, like a Wookiee.
Like-
No, I mean,
Oh,
like,
like a
who is
Wookiee.
allowed to contribute to the universe? Can we make something up about Vader's private life, and
that's the
then
thing.
it becomes part of it?
Well,
Who's
yeah,
grandfathered
That's why the
in?
canon got controlled by Disney because they were like, wait, this is all over the place. Like
Yeah.
basically, it became
many
like,
things happen.
Have you
Yeah.
ever gone to any of these Star Wars convention things?
No.
Yo, I'm about to piss my pants. I'll be right back. I gotta
Yeah.
take it.
Why haven't you? Because you seem like.
so unprofessional.
What?
Why haven't you gone to one of these things?
Yo, man, because like I don't really want to like interact with people. It's like a personal relationship I have with
Gotcha.
Star Wars. I don't need to
This
see
is the
people
thing.
to
Gotcha.
talk about it.
Gotcha.
People build their own like lightsaber and stuff. You could buy like a custom lightsaber online.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't care about that.
You don't want to be associated.
I don't want to be
with-
like see people. Like, what are we gonna do? Like we just talk about this shit?
You don't want to be
I'm doing it
associated with
here.
this level of nerd. You
Yeah.
want to secretly be a nerd about this.
Yeah, I just don't see the. I just don't.
But
see,
you can have these nuanced conversations that you might really enjoy. I feel like
This
you
sounds
might.
I'd rather
this-
just have them in my head.
Like I knew you were a Star Wars guy coming into this. I didn't know it was this level.
Yeah.
So it's it sounds
But
like it was.
you
know.
speak on it on a level that how do I say it's more intellectual than dork.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Like no,
Yo,
like you
for
really
sure.
understand backstory, you understand character arc, and it's.
Yo, it's just something that interests me. It's something that I
you don't have to defend it. What I'm
know.
saying, it's the
No.
greatest movie franchise in history.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's something going on here that's right, and people
Yeah.
are into.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, you might find joy talking to other people who know just as much about it as you, instead of explaining it to a couple mooks over here.
Yo, another question
Nah.
for you. Who's Chrome Dome? So you know when he Finn.
Brienne of fucking Tarth.
Yeah.
That's who it is.
Wait, what?
That's
Yeah.
Brienne of Tarth.
The
Chrome
actor,
Dome
you're
is
saying?
Brienne of Tarth?
Yeah.
You're asking
Underneath
who
that
the
is her.
actress was?
No, I just like who is that? Like
Oh.
they peeled off the. So you could see
She's
the
like
eye,
the
make eye contact for a reason.
stormtrooper command. I don't know. What
She was in
the.
she was in 7
Yeah,
too,
she was
right?
in 7.
Yeah, yeah.
It goes
they-
back. Sorry, go ahead.
They lingered on the eye for a while. So it's like, am I supposed to know who this is? This
Brienne
seems
of
like a
Tarth.
thing. Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hey.
Also, did you know that
Justin Theroux?
the mother of the prince that was promised, Lisa Aaron, Robin. Robin's the Prince that was promised.
Yeah.
Right?
The mom.
Lisa Aaron
Was in it. She was at the.
She's
the
in
desk.
She's in the first 5 minutes.
Son,
of
do
this
you know
movie.
how many real actors that you don't even like? Prince Harry is in this one.
Daniel Craig isn't he?
Daniel
a stormtrooper?
Craig was in the last one.
Wait a minute,
You
Prince
know-
Harry?
Yeah.
Who is he?
He's one of
I
the
forget. He's
stormtroopers.
the
or something.
random stormtroopers. They just grab people and they put the helmet on. And in the last one, you remember when Rey is prisoned and she finds the Force for the first time and she tells the stormtrooper, "You're gonna unlock these cuffs and drop your weapon and walk out," or whatever she
No,
says.
but keep going.
You don't remember that?
No, I
and
don't-
the
yeah.
stormtrooper laughs at first,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
she says it again, and the stormtrooper does. That's Daniel Craig.
So he just wanted to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Yo, the guy, the master coder breaker guy that they went
Justin
to go
Theroux.
get. That's Justin Theroux.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Pointed that out.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
Justin
yeah,
Theroux.
yeah.
No words. He
Little
just like
little
I'm
help
gonna
on the
look-
hairline.
I'm just gonna look.
Little help on the hairline,
Yeah, that's
Justin.
all right.
I noticed that.
Shout out to him.
I didn't know that was Brandon Tarth.
Yo, there's
Okay.
a lot of.
Who else?
minor
What
roles,
are
but-
the other cameos that I might have missed?
It's like Simon Pegg is in the first one. He's one of the in the desert.
There's a
whatever.
whole list.
Yeah.
You could look it up. I mean, there's like a lot of different people.
Who invents the animals? That's such a clever job.
That's like, yo, those are toys.
Yeah, those are toys. But so is.
Oh, they all exist. Every one of these
No,
animals.
they're
those
going to be
ice-
toys now.
yeah.
They're going to be in fucking.
Yeah,
Happy
they
Meal.
exist. Yeah, they go deep with the like. There's people who collect.
like the ice dogs. Like those.
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
already existed.
Yeah. No.
No,
No.
My
Those were
point is like
introduced.
there is a team, right, and it's their sole job to
Yeah.
invent
To use
animals
toys.
for this
Yes.
universe.
Correct.
Yeah.
To invent that will be toys or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yes.
but they're inventing animals for the universe. What a cool job! If that's
Great
what you,
job.
I mean, just think of the craziest fish
Yeah.
person and then
Yeah.
put them together.
The nuns. I love the nuns.
They nailed the
The
pork.
nuns.
the
What-
caretakers of the Jedi. Well, I called them nuns.
The ones that Ray kept
Fucking
on.
with.
yeah.
Dude, I was
Remember-
dying.
remember
When the rock
fucking
fell,
thing?
I
That was
lost it.
hilarious.
What were the other animals on the island? Like the little like guinea
I
pig
forget
looking
what
Porgs.
they're called.
Porgs.
Porgs.
Oh, yeah,
My
yeah.
wife
When
loved
Chewie was
those.
Chewie was eating them.
Cornish
and then-
hens. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
But yeah, the Brianna Tarth character is just a toy. Like they just needed a Boba Fett style, like cool looking
Exactly.
stormtrooper that's different than the rest.
Correct. Very good. It was Boba Fett style.
But zero substance in terms of that character. She just dies, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So driver's the best, and that's it. Let's move on.
Here's a question I have. That's not about this one. It's about a past. It's about a past Star Wars. Since I have some Star Wars fiends here.
Marco is like about to rewrite the book of Star.
Sure.
Like he's about
Well,
to
I've
teach a
read
class.
some of the literature. I've read
Okay.
some of the-
So here the literature.
Piece of shit. The Legacy of the Force series. I read most of those books.
Okay. In the 1 through 3,
Yeah.
there's a character which is what's his name, the goofy one,
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks. And I saw this random YouTube clip where it said that Jar Jar Binks is the other Sith Lord,
No, is the ultimate Sith Lord. He's
or
like
is the ultimate
yeah.
Sith Lord.
Yeah.
That now this is a an internet rumor. Maybe you guys could offer some more clarity to this. What I'm trying to say. One, is it true, and what is there to back it up?
No.
I don't think it's true, but I love that it's like a conspiracy. Like
Break down the conspiracy though for
I don't
everybody's
know
listening.
about it. That really.
there's a video online. This guy breaks it down. Basically, he's like playing the like drunken idiot the whole time.
Yeah.
But really, he's like the ultimate Sith Lord, like the master manipulator behind the entire.
I'm gonna get the video.
Chessboard?
I'm gonna get the video. We can watch, but keep on going.
It's crazy. Like a lot of stuff lines up. Like they go to like specific scenes, and like when he's in fights, he just manages to like kill a bunch of people by like doing like.
Random shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know.
I don't know. I like that there's like, it's definitely not what was intended for the
it's not
character,
it's not intended.
but for the most hated character probably in anything ever,
It's him.
it's him.
Yeah.
And the fact that they could find like a cool take on
They
why
had
he
to do
was.
something.
Yeah. So I like that. I like that that's
They're,
like a
they're
thing.
grasping
but-
at straws.
You
I would
really
say.
don't think there's
No,
anything to
no.
it?
I know there's not.
How?
Have you seen the video?
No.
I'm gonna get it up right now.
After the video, Marco's going to be like, oh shit.
He's immediately after. No, he's definitely a Sith
Are
Lord.
we gonna watch this on the podcast?
up around the internet right now about how Jar Jar Binks may actually
It's always the same voice on these videos, if you notice. It's always like, he's like, one guy, he's like, I've been doing a lot of thinking about Jar Jar Binks.
So here it is. This is the completely airtight, absolutely
Why won't the
foolproof
fucking thing?
case for why
No,
Jar
because
Jar
then we can't
Binks
use it. Anyway.
is the most powerful Sith master in the universe. First of all, Jar Jar executes a 20-foot twisting somersault through the air that, if performed by any other character, you would assume they were either a Jedi or a Sith. As we know, the Jedi themselves are inspired by Shaolin monks, and a convincing theory is that Jar Jar is based off of another traditional
Now I'm
martial
conscious
arts
of it, though. You
discipline
shouldn't say anything.
called Z-Quan. Jar Jar almost single-handedly takes out half a droid army using moves clearly taught in Z-Quan. Z-Quan, or Drunken Fist, uses stumbling and staggering as body momentum to be deceptive, unpredictable, and to confuse opponents. And Jar Jar mysteriously is extremely efficient in killing every single time that he is in danger. And as Obi-Wan told us, there is no such thing as luck.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
In another scene, Jar Jar seems to fall from a bridge, although we have seen this done on purpose before by Jedi. And Jar Jar also falls in a completely different place than where he was dangling from. We can prove this because droids can be seen shooting at his original location, and their heads even follow him jump to the other side. Jar Jar could have used a force jump, as we've seen multiple times before by Jedi. Jar Jar is also seen using sleight of hand movements and Jedi mind tricks during key plot points to influence the plot and change people's minds. He even uses them when he is promoted to general, when he's promoted to senator, and while he's persuading an entire galactic senate. Along with using the Force via sleight of hand, Jar Jar is also seen in multiple scenes using Jedi mind control to influence what people say, therefore changing the outcome of important events.
The Queen wishes it. She's curious about the plan.
Look at his mouth.
That's fake.
Why would his mouth be moving, fam? I saw it
I
on the
get it,
wide.
but the voice that's coming out.
Jar Jar's own species are deathly afraid of him. Seems like less of a reaction to seeing the village idiot and more of a reaction to seeing somebody that you should be very afraid of. Jar Jar mocks Qui-Gon's ability to use the Force, perhaps because Qui-Gon's Force abilities pale in comparison of his own.
The Force will guide us.
Oh, Maxie bit the Force.
If you were wondering why a Sith Master would act like an idiot like Jar Jar does, it's clear that he is just fooling the Jedi so he can manipulate them into trusting him.
You hear that?
Yeah? Clumsy.
You were banished because you were clumsy.
He even pretends to be scared in a deleted scene where his ship is going to fall over a waterfall, even though he can jump 20 feet through the air and he can swim and breathe underwater. Jar Jar also mocks Qui-Gon behind his back and in front of Anakin, teaching Anakin early to disrespect Jedi authority. Jar Jar tells Anakin, an 8-year-old boy, that Padme is hot, fanning the flames for Anakin's infatuation for Padme that is exploited later.
Pretty hot.
Jar Jar also talks to and is very interested in Padme, even before it is revealed that Padme is the real queen. Jar Jar also influences Padme's decision-making when she's at her most uncertain.
We got a grand army.
I've decided to go back to Naboo.
Jar Jar senses that the Jedi are coming without any warnings. He could not have known in any way that they were coming, and he even walks up to the elevator seconds before the Jedi arrive, then pretends to be surprised to see them. When they're escaping Naboo, Jar Jar is the one who sabotages the hyperdrive, which forces them to land on Tatooine in the first place where they meet Anakin. Not to mention Jar Jar is the reason they keep running into Anakin. Jar Jar is seen suspiciously fiddling around in the back of the ship moments before the hyperdrive mysteriously breaks. R2-D2 even notices he was doing something suspicious, so he gives him a well-deserved smack before he is forced to leave in the elevator to fix
long
the
is this
ship's
thing?
shield generator. In fact, every
I get
droid
it.
Jar Jar
Anything?
No, I don't care.
Nothing to it.
I mean, it's cool and creative how he did it. I'll give him that. But like, there's no way that that's the intent.
It's a dude with a lot of time on his hands, but I think
But
it's
it's
fun.
interesting.
I think it's fun.
I
It's
think it's fun
funny.
too,
like,
yeah.
It's not to be taken seriously, but I like that it exists
Yeah.
as a theory.
It's definitely creative. I'll give him that.
But you don't think there's any truth for it whatsoever.
No.
I don't
So
think
who's the
George.
second
I don't
Sith
think
Lord?
George Lucas
I
was.
thought there's always two Sith
It
Lords.
was Palpatine was always the main,
And then who's the
and
second?
then there was Darth Maul, and then there was Count Dooku, and then there was Anakin.
Wait a minute. What are you saying no to?
Nothing. I'm just like shaking my head like he just ran.
He's talking to the mic.
He's around these names off the top of his head.
Yeah, I
I'm
can't even
just
remember
like,
the
wait,
names
what?
of this movie. What was her name? The pretty girl?
Yeah.
Huh?
Count Dooku?
And the black guy? What was his
He was
name?
the Jedi that was turned, who Anakin kills in the third one. You know? All right.
Damn.
You didn't watch it. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Damn, son. Damn. All right. Well, anything else?
You doing right?
I think we should do Bright by itself. We had a great long conversation about this. Let's do Bright by itself. No?
That's fine.
That's fine.
I think, how long is this one? Yeah, we got a full epi. Let's stretch this shit out, baby. Listen, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Westerbros. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about it, tell the world. Again, if you have any hookups in the theaters in New York City area, any ideas of shows, films that you want us to check out and review, always send those to us. I'm gonna let the guys give them your Instagram so you could slide up in it.
Yeah, at Jack Leary, at Jay Learius on Twitter.
I got 5 passports on Instagram.
You still haven't changed? Dude, you changed it in one night.
He hasn't changed it. And Marco, nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing. Mine is Andrew Schulz. Make sure you hit us up. Thank you guys so much for listening. Keep subscribing and keep spreading the words. This has been another episode of Westerbros. What are we doing real quick just for the future so we can let people... Oh, we're going to do Bright.
We got rom-com.
Real quick. We're going to do Bright. So make sure if you haven't seen Bright on Netflix with Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, make sure you see that immediately. So we're going to review Bright. That's going to come up as well.
Trash. Sorry.
What's that?
Trash.
You are so off with that. You are so off. It was so good. We'll get into it. I don't want to ruin it all right now. But we're going to do Bright. And I like that we already have some divisiveness. We also have, if you haven't listened already, we did Stranger Things. We did a live binge of that. That was wild. And we have, what's it called? What did we do yesterday? Oh, yeah, we did season 4 of Black Mirror. So coming up, we're going to do which movies? Which
we got Valentine's Day special.
We got the Valentine's Day special. We're going to see a movie called About Time and maybe a couple others.
Well, we're each going to pick our own.
Okay, we
right?
each put our own maybe
Yeah.
watch it, but start with About Time. Check that out because that's definitely going to be part of it. And then in the coming days, we'll let you guys know which other ones to watch.
Black Panther comes out.
Yep. we're
Black
definitely gonna do
Panther. We'll go check that one out for sure. See if my theory is true. Everybody's giving me a lot of shit about it.
A lot of shit.
A lot of shit
You
about
gotta check
it.
yourself, man.
A lot of shit about it. You can't
It's
have
not
an
good.
opinion. Can't have an opinion. Listen, his fucking superpower sucks. You saw it in the preview
Hey.
today. His stupid nails come. Ooh, I'm scared now. This guy has a manicure.
Hey.
What is he gonna do to me?
By the way, you know.
I think he's got more than that.
He literally goes, ching. Okay, you bad bitch.
no. By the way,
Double it down
What are you
on
gonna
this.
do? Snap your fingers
you're
and be
doubling
sassy
down-
with your
you're-
long nails?
You're
Fuck out of
doubling
here.
down on the Black Panther.
Whatever. Yeah.
yo, you know who's
I
in
like
the soundtrack, right?
Who? Kendrick. Yeah.
He did the whole soundtrack.
He's curating the soundtrack.
All right, so I'll watch it with my eyes closed. Look, we'll get there.
Yo,
What is it? What a movie?
I promise you, you're gonna love that fucking movie.
I know I'll probably love the movie, but his superpower is so trash. Go.
I mean, looking forward, we got Westworld.
Oh, Westworld, but yeah. What else?
We got.
Do you guys want to
I
do like
want-
an Oscar? Like once all.
Yeah,
we
I
should,
think
we
that'd
should
be
do an
good.
award season, like yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
pick something. No,
How we gonna watch any of those movies, bro?
I got all the screeners.
I've seen like.
I'm not watching any of them
seen most
fucking
of them.
movies.
no. I think it could be cool to pick a random movie and then all of us watch it because we could trash the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
but have the people that are watching with us go through that experience as well.
Sure.
So we'll pick a movie, make sure that and that's why you guys got to follow us on Instagram and that kind of stuff because we're gonna tell you guys what we're gonna end up watching. What else? Anything else? I think Dark. People are saying Dark on Netflix is really good.
Maybe we'll check. We'll see if it's good.
What y'all think about that? Interest?
Yeah.
I'm interested in it. If it's good, I'll watch an episode or two and see if we like it.
Okay. Anything else? Any other TV shows and movies
Yo,
coming up that we got?
I don't know if it's a movie we're gonna review because it doesn't really make sense. But yo, I'm mad hyped for Sicario too.
Oh,
Sicario too, yeah.
absolutely. Love Benicio.
Oh
Let's
my
go.
god,
Westerbros.
Yo, Benice.
unhinged. Take the handcuffs off.
Oh yeah, let him rock. No stutter.
Yeah, that was a weird little character choice.
I loved it. I loved
I
it.
didn't love the starter. If you want to harp on,
It seemed like he didn't even commit to it. It was like twice.
Yeah,
And you're like, that's
yeah,
weird.
it came at random times.
Well, it
Yeah.
starts the sentence, the stutter.
Oh, does it?
It
I didn't
start
pick
then
that
again.
up.
I just think it's cool when characters make choices, and like he wanted like Benicio's great at like stealing a scene, not stealing,
Oh, yeah.
but like he's great at just being the most interesting thing about a scene. He
He's a
just
beast.
takes his time with the lines. It's really special. So like I always think about when I'm doing a character, like what can I do? What kind of ticks can I have? It doesn't have to be that severe, but just something to give him a little something extra. And it was just cool that he would do that with that character. Yeah. It's fucking amazing. Anyway, is that it, guys? Are we done?
Yep.
Let's
Yo.
go to some food.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Westerbros. Spread the word. Peace. Oh, real quick, Alex Media. Make sure you follow Alex on Instagram. Follow him on Twitter. He's posts all clips from the shows. He does his own stuff on there that I don't know because I don't follow him. But y'all should. No, I'm just joking. I follow. Make sure you follow him. Alex Media. It's 2 X's. ALEXX Media. All right. Peace.